Football's 5 best goals ever that never would have stood if VAR existed. Every single football fan is familiar with the painful drop of the stomach when their team or country concedes a goal, which just simply should not have been. Even the mere mention of the goalscorer's name is enough to trigger painful flashbacks of the very moment you put your head in your hands and said it's just not fair. While it will always have its critics and skeptics, there is little doubt VAR have somewhat decreased those painful memories. Controversy remains in football, yet the teething problems from the system's early days have been mostly ironed out and developed. Football fans from all generations, clubs, and nations, please be aware painful flashbacks are likely, as Daily Star Sport considers 5 of the greatest goals of all time which would have never stood had VAR been present. Henrik Mkhitaryan's spells at Manchester United and Arsenal may have been largely forgettable, but is one moment all Premier League fans will remember. The Armenian striker scored a Boxing Day cracker, hammering home a sensational scorpion kick during United's 3-1 home victory against Sunderland in 2016. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who was in the unfamiliar situation of crossing a football, bent a cross beyond the Armenian attacker. However, the former Borussia Dortmund star improvised majestically by throwing himself forward, flicking his right leg back, and sensationally diverting the ball into the far corner. Unfortunately, this beautiful goal would not have stood if VAR was in place, as the midfielder was almost 2 yards offside when the cross came in. Have your say. What other incredible goals do you think VAR would have disallowed? Comment below. Wayne Rooney scored a catalogue of wonder goals during his peak years at Manchester United. However, one of his best ever goals would have been cancelled by VAR. There appeared to be little danger when a bouncing ball landed in Rooney's vicinity on the halfway line during United's tricky away match against West Ham United in Upton Park. However, Rooney had a habit of producing the spectacular out of nowhere, and he did so in East London, as chested the ball down, let it bounce, and launched a half volley from 50 yards over the top of Adrian and into the back of the net. Unfortunately, his celebrations would have been cut short, most likely after a look at the pitch side monitor, as he quite clearly shoved defender James Tompkins before shooting. Darren Bent's memorable goal against Liverpool in 2009 was so crazy, the culprit is currently nestling behind some glass in the National Football Museum. All 49,000 people in the Stadium of Light moved towards the edge of their seats in celebration when a hopeful cross fell to the lurking Bent on the edge of the penalty area. Unsurprisingly, the net bulged and Bent wheeled of in celebration. However, unbeknownst to many in the stadium, Bent's effort deflected off a beach ball thrown onto the pitch by a Liverpool fan and completely bamboozled Pepe Reina. The goal was inconceivably allowed, and Sunderland went on to win the game 1-0. If VAR had been in place, it would have of course been disallowed, and the guilty beach ball would not have a prized place in the National Football Museum in Liverpool. England fans should sit down, as this horrible throwback is prone to causing dizzying bursts of fury, anger, and sadness. The year is 1986, and Argentina captain Diego Maradona has just scored the goal of the century to give the South Americans the lead against England in the World Cup quarter-final. Unfortunately, the worst was yet to come, as the little magician went on to out-jump Peter Shilton and touch the ball over the goalkeeper and into the back of the net. However, a preceding action replay went on to prove the Barcelona and Napoli legend actually punched the ball over the goalkeeper and into the back of the net. The goal would have immediately been disallowed, and who knows, maybe we would not have been singing about 50 years of hurt. Some mysteries are better left unsolved. VAR and goal line technology have revolutionized football, but that does not mean we would have always wanted it in place. Arguably the most iconic goal in England football history may not have been scored if it was. As nobody knows for certain whether Geoff Hurst's second goal in the 1966 World Cup final completely crossed the line. The West Ham legend hammered Sir Alf Ramsey's side's third goal against West Germany at Wembley off the bottom of the crossbar and, depending on where your allegiance lies, just over the goal line, probably. VAR and goal line technology would have immediately confirmed whether the effort had crossed the goal line or not. The Loch Ness Monster will likely be discovered before we get a 100%